that's the difficult part of it. You know, there's no big name behind it, marketing it, and people barely look twice, if you want to call it that, so far. But it's going good.
Now, one of your main characters is Ambrose.
That's correct.
Who is the 7th Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And reading some of the excerpts on Ambrose, that was very striking to me, is that he seems to be described as a self-perfectionist, in that he has decided to take on the mantle of running this country that is now falling apart, and willing, on the surface at least, to do whatever it takes to bring us from where we are to where we could be. What made you decide to use a catalyst like him instead of a local non-political figure or a community leader or someone more grassroots, as opposed to looking at the leader of the nation?
Okay, well, originally what happened is I just had two gangsters going up against each other, right? And but you know, you found out that the Prime Minister was kind of making the newspapers, so to say, around the same point in time, and you know, kind of just back at that point, so to say, and you know, it'll be kind of interesting to know what's going on behind, you know, the White House.
Fictional.
Yeah, what's going on, because I mean, at the end of the day, we could be saying, well, you know, the Prime Minister of the country not doing too much about the crime, but you're trying to get into the character, to get into the individual. So that's how he was nowhere in the picture.
Initially.
Nowhere in it. Actually, the project was actually scrapped, probably after about 6 months of working on it, to incorporate him into the story. So that is, I wanted to get that flavor, because we read it in the newspapers every day.
Yes.
You know, to bring it home to people. 2008.
Ambrose seems to be very, very much a hero when you look at how he's described and how he looks at his role in catapulting the country forward. But what happens when your hero realizes what the reality of the country is, and then has to adjust his ideals, as Ambrose does throughout the book, to now do what must be done, to do the true work, to do the true nitty-gritty of pulling us up out of the mud and into, you know, a fictional vision of what the country could be?
Okay, if I tell you about it, I'll actually be telling you about the last 2 chapters. But you know, my cousin was describing him earlier as, you know, the prototype for what people would like in a Prime Minister.
Yes.
Because yes, I mean, I agree with the point you're saying there, that you have this guy, he wants the best for the people, he's making appeals to the people, you know, let's do it this particular way, and it just isn't working out. So it goes to show that at the end of the day, there's a human struggle inside of there also. Alright, and that's what I wanted to capture through that. You know, so at different points in time, I tried to get into the Prime Minister's life at home.
Yes.
At Whitehall, at the CARICOM meeting in Washington. Alright, so I try to take him all over and show at the end of the day he's doing his job, but he's a human being like you and I.
You started out by saying that the book was originally about 2 gangsters who were going up against one another. Is this Bill and Crapo?
No.
Or is this Mr. Barrett?
Yes, this is Barrett and a guy called Hamad, if you read about him.
Okay. How do their stories work to include the Prime Minister in terms of 90 Days of Violence?
Okay, 90 Days of Violence, somewhere around the 30th day around there, what you find happening, actually right after Carnival, what you find happening is that 1 ton of cocaine goes missing. Alright, and it's because we have a little upset between the 2 of them in the rise to power, and you know, that is where I started to go to the grassroots, the people in the caucus, how this, you know, transfer of power is affecting everyone's life. What I also try to do is bring in strategic people into it, because I wanted to explore the role of information systems in, let's say, CSI software, combating crime, curbing, collecting evidence. Alright, so I brought different characters into play, and the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security ends up getting tied up in that.
Okay. And why the title, 90 Days of Violence?
What I want to say, before I say why the title, there's a title that kind of makes people step back a little bit. because they say, you're portraying the country in a strange light.
I remember you saying that in your forward, that people felt that you were not showing the true Trinidad, but a lot of the times we get caught up in the Trinidad that we used to know, the Trinidad we would like to know, and the Trinidad that is. How does 90 Days of Violence dissect those three